You got this week's Young Hero now.
I do also have a young hero, and I'm so happy to introduce Nicholas Tarver. He has dealt with cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and vision impairment since birth, but it's how he tackles these hurdles that is truly inspirational. His volunteer efforts have included serving as president of the Children of the American Revolution for Louisiana, working with Wreaths Across America, and serving on the national board as chairman of the Tomb of the Unknown American Revolutionary Soldier. I am so pleased to introduce you to this week's Young Hero.
Come on! Come on, see ya! Come on!
Even though I have a lot of disabilities, I'm able to be successful and thrive in school and thrive in my life.
Looking at Nicholas Tarver, you can likely see the signs of his disability. He walks with a cane and sometimes needs an aid to read and write. He's also blind and epileptic.
There's blessing.
Blessing, I mean.
But what most can't see is his sheer determination to live life to the fullest.
Allison just told me that you stayed outside of his hospital room and prayed.
I did. I was scared if I left that they wouldn't know that he was supposed to stay around and be with us. So I spent the night, or a couple of nights at the hospital in the waiting room so that he would have company. His handicap is not a handicap. He just works around it. His grades at school are awesome, but nobody knows how many hours he puts in practicing and learning and reviewing everything. So I guess I don't know what I could say I'm most proud of, except that maybe it's just his attitude about life.
Out here on his family's farm, he's a rancher, an athlete, and a role model. A normal 17-year-old. But it was an uphill battle to get here.
My right arm and right legs can be tight. I get around with my cane, sometimes my wheelchair. I get around with basically with my action track, cane, wheelchair. It's anything that I can.
He's actually a miracle baby. He was not supposed to survive the night. And if he did survive 24 hours, it was going to be substantial mental disabilities. So we were faced with that, which was, of course, for new parents, heartbreaking. But as we went through it, we realized that he was actually quite phenomenal.
Nicholas has cerebral palsy, which is a neurological disorder that affects muscles and motor skills. Sometimes it creates counter issues like blindness and epilepsy. It's a rare disease that affects only 2 to 3 babies out of 1,000.
It took me a little longer to come to grips with what that meant and fully understand it. So I would say I was probably 2 years easy understanding the limits that were going to be put on Nicholas.
His limitations make everyday life harder.
My youngest son is 12, and he gets up at 6:40 for us to be out of the door for 7 o'clock. And Nicholas gets up at 6. But Nicholas gets up at 6 and he can brush his teeth, wash his face, he dresses himself, he can do everything that he does. It just may take him 45 minutes instead of 10 like my youngest son does.
And yet, here he is, beating the odds. Nicholas works around his limitations.
That were accepted for publication. To the over 30 societies that submitted there,
Allison and Nicholas learned Braille. He uses it to do his homework. He writes essays, even speeches.
and have a voice in this great organization.
He's a part of several organizations that rely on his knowledge and expertise to function. As president of the Children of the American Revolution, Nicholas was awarded by the Lieutenant Governor for his dedication to preserving history at Fort Jessup.
When I was state president, so my project was, why no man's land? And I wanted to, I guess, bring awareness to no man's land and for the people to know about no man's land and to have an idea of what no man's land is. The Lieutenant Governor gave me this award from, again, my outstanding work on no man's land in my state project as president.
He's treasurer of the Future Farmers of America, where he proved that kids with disabilities can still make a difference in agriculture. But why stop there? He's also an athlete.
My brother plays basketball and baseball. My sister does cheer and gymnastics. So it gives me something to do, and my parents, they don't treat me any different.
Nicholas is a proud participant in the Gumbo Games, or Games Uniting Mind and Body. He's good too. He'll beat anyone at the javelin and shot put.
So everyone, mainly the non-physical impairment people, can play baseball, basketball, football, all these activities. Well, when you have cerebral palsy, that's difficult, and it can be doable, but it's probably not the best. So I throw the javelin, shot put, and discus. I've qualified in Move United Junior Nationals, which was held in Denver, Colorado last year. I was actually national champion in all three.
Awesome.
And then I qualified in the javelin and shot put so far for this year's Move United competition held in Hoover, Alabama. That'll be in July of this year.
Nicholas is living a fulfilling life. He's accomplished more than I can list. He's happy. His family is proud. If there are young heroes worth celebrating, Nicholas is definitely one of them. Nicholas is also in 4-H. He's participated in Trash Bash to help reduce litter in his community. And like I said earlier, he does participate in Wreaths Across America with his grandmother. But what I didn't mention is that at first it was just 1 graveyard, 2 graveyards, and now they're up to 5.
Yeah.
So he's just truly an amazing kid.
What does he not do?
He does so much.
He's amazing, yeah.
So we wish him the best. He's definitely an impressive guy.
Sure is.
All right, and so Louisiana LPV Young Heroes program is presented this year with the generous support of AmeriHealth Caritas Louisiana, Community Coffee, East Baton Rouge Parish Library, the U.S. Army Baton Rouge Recruiting Battalion, DIMCO, McDonald's, and Hotel Indigo.